Oh, hello YouTube. Look to this old oven and enjoy it, because today we will be replacing it with a more modern one.
First, I will show you what tools you'll need, then I'll show you how to replace it. And at the end, I'm going to rate this project based on difficulty, cost, and amount of time it took. And now, it's time to tug on them bootstraps. Measuring tape, multimeter, junction box, wire cutters, Phillips head screwdriver, perhaps a flathead screwdriver, an assortment of wire nuts, especially including a ground nut, cable straps, and cable clamps. Could be 1/2 inch, could be 3/4 inch. Before you buy your new wall oven, you need to actually measure the existing opening so that the new one conforms to the opening you have. And you will of course need to make your own determination if there are some changes you need to make to the opening, make it a little bit larger, then we will have to add jigsaws and circular saws to the equation.
We are working with electricity here, and two-phase electricity for that matter, which is dangerous and can kill you. So use common sense. If at any point you are uncomfortable, stop, consult, or hire an electrician. Let's get started by turning off the breaker that powers this oven. On, there's the light. I'm gonna head down to the basement and flip the right switch. Definitely off. Of course, we will double check it later with the multimeter, where the cable comes in to connect to the oven. We will have to get at this box and disconnect the wires. I am reasonably confident that I can just pull this out and make the electrical box visible for myself. Seems to me like we'll have to make it more accessible, so there's 2 flatheads that I'll have to remove. Spare. I found some secret screws. If we just lift up the door, they are made accessible. Now we've got access to the box. Got 2 more flathead screws. And here we see the two-phase wiring, which we are most certainly going to double check and make sure that we're not about to get electrocuted. Take our multimeter, we set it to AC voltage. We know it's AC because of the squiggly line denoting a waveform or alternating current. Now let's poke the probes between black and neutral. We've got nothing. Red and neutral, nothing. And finally, red and black, also nothing. Good, it's safe to work on. Let's begin here by taking off the wires. Of course, you have to make sure that the service feeding your new appliance is going to be sufficient. I know that mine is sufficient because this is a 30 amp feed and my new oven is also correspondingly 30 amps. Let's follow up by yanking out this cable. Let's undo this nut, slide it over the wires. Try to make sure you don't scratch the jacket as you're pulling it out. And the cable is out. Now, let's pull out the oven. This part may or may not require a friend, but it's fairly lightweight, and by fairly I mean maybe about 70 pounds. And it's out. All right, inside here we've got this vent, and it is so ancient, it's just disintegrating. We're gonna get rid of that. For this particular oven and most modern wall mount ovens, you do not need to vent them. They vent basically inside the house, which can be a great thing in the winter, not so good in the summer. I'm gonna need to find something to stuff in here because that's a gaping hole in the wall that leads right to the outside. So here's an idea. Rather than trying to take apart the vent from the outside, then having to fix a big gaping hole from the outside of the house, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. I'm just gonna stuff fiberglass into this hole and the surrounding area. Nice. 30 amps of current, which is what we need, but it does not have a ground wire. This is an older home and it has this Armor BX style cabling. With this type of cabling, as far as I know, the NEC code allows you to use this sheath as well as this little conductive strip as the ground. You have to check with your house and your local codes and make sure that this is all kosher. And as always, if you don't know and you can't find the answer, an electrician is always the right answer. So we've got it fed in. Let's put the original washer and nut onto this. pulled a little sneaky on ya, realized that the cable from the oven is gonna need a 3/4 inch knockout, so I upsized the junction box. Mounted right about down here. I'll be able to snake the oven cable, hook it up right here. So we've got the box all nice and mounted up. 3 screws. So this looks all good and nice. Vacuumed it out. Now comes the most interesting part, in which we actually tried to slide the new oven in. I measured the opening. I'm fairly confident it should all fit, so let's cross our fingers and see what happens. All right, I've got the oven directly in front of the opening. So there's the conduit, there's the cable. I'm gonna feed it into this hole I punched out. I've got a 3/4 inch lock nut that I'm gonna put in on the other side. And this is all, I'm doing this right now because later this will become completely inaccessible to me. I'm just gonna apply this lock nut. All right, I've got it on. Not gonna tighten it yet, gonna let it flex like this. Now comes the most fun part. That's lifting it up, preferably with a lovely assistant. 1, 2, 3. Careful with the cable. All right, let's tip it onto the wood here. Oh, looks like it's just a touch too fat for this opening. That's too bad. Okay. Oh boy, here we go. The trouble always starts when these tools come out. I've marked about 3/8 of an inch on either side. That should give me enough clearance. Now, the fun part will be trying to cut this nicely and accurately. That's a relatively clean cut. I'll do the same on this side. With that wonderful segue out of the way, let's try again. Now with a 100% wider opening. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There it goes. Would you look at that? All right, let's wire it. Let's bring this home. So the ground wire I can see is not going to be quite long enough to reach a ground screw if I put it there. So I'm going to take 6 inches of my own bare ground wire. I'm going to bend it like this, clockwise, such that when I put the screw in, it actually starts tightening down on this wire. Oh, wonderful. See what I mean? Nice and tight. Now we're going to take a ground wire nut, green. Has this hole here, that's how you know it's for ground. I'm gonna twist these two bad boys together. Now, this is fairly straightforward. We're just gonna match our wire colors with some wire nuts. Since they are fatsos, I will choose to use red wire nuts. Put on those wire nuts nicely. I'm gonna finish this off with a nice cover plate. But before I do that, let me show you something. The trick to tightening these nuts is to put a flathead screwdriver against them and then just tap on the butt of your flathead screwdriver. There it is. Off camera, did just a touch of cable management. Now I'm gonna go flip that double pull breaker. Zip, zap, zoopity, bop. Look at that. Oh, look at that. And that's how you replace your wall oven. If I had any advice to give, it would be measure once, measure twice. Don't cut anything. Don't bust out them power tools like I had to do.
And now it's time to rate this project. Cost-wise, I paid about $210 for materials and the oven itself. The oven I got used off of Craigslist for $200. The junction box and cover plate were no more than $3. And an assortment of wire nuts and cable clamps was an additional $5 or $6 tops. The amount of time I spent was probably 4 hours, and I think that number could have been slashed in half if only I had the right junction box available to me from the get-go, because that trip to the store took me a solid 2 hours. This is the first time I'll be using the scale, so bear with me. I might adjust it in the future to make more sense. But on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being screwing in a light bulb, and 10 being, oh God, why did I do this? I will never do this again. Next time I will hire a professional. I rate this project a 4. Pulling out the oven and sliding in the new one was not too difficult. I did need someone to help me because it was somewhat heavy. Having to cut this hardwood in the middle of my kitchen was not exactly fun because I had sawdust everywhere in the kitchen, and that's never a nice thing. But other than that, not too difficult and absolutely worth it.
So bake that like button, broil that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.